All right, we're going live to talk about Texas and North Carolina. And I think my light in here is too bright. It's looking like it. I don't know if anybody's in here yet. If you are, chime in and say if this is too bright or not. There we go. EA Conant, Tar Heel, Paul, what's up, man? Hang on a second. I got one of them ring lights over there that kind of blows it out, and I don't know how to adjust this camera here. So we're just going to experiment for a minute. Can y'all hear me okay on this microphone? Paul, your typing skills are just fine, my man. Darren, all right, Mississippi Wildlife. Lee in the background. Me and Lee been talking about hats today. He's got one of those. I used to think they were called a Kango, but I think it's what kind of hat is that, Lee? A Dawson. Hey Dawson, what's up? I was showing Elizabeth the hat that kind of similar to what Lee wears. Kodiak Farms, if y'all not familiar with Lee, check him out. And she said, "Yeah, I think you look cute in that." I said, cute's not the look I'm going for. Scally cap. Okay. So tonight, I want to talk about where we're going early on this year. Later on, we'll talk about other conferences later in the year. But right now, we're getting ready to go to Texas. Before we go to Texas, though, we're doing a short jump on with Steve from House for Heroes. That's on the 13th, and I'm not sure. I don't know what channel that's going to be on, so I can't really give you any information there. But if you follow House for Heroes, you'll be able to find that out. And I had Elizabeth send me a list of the conference schedule and all that kind of stuff for North Carolina. Been talking to the folks over at the Texas conference we're going to. Well, not really a conference. It's an open house for a bee supply store. And there's going to be quite a number of folks there. We're in Texas. Give me just a second. Look, I am so unprepared. 3 hours, it's pouring down raining right now. 3 hours ago, I was crawling around under somebody's deck in the mud, fixing some steps. And I've been stepping and fetching. There's no video on that, by the way. I get home to find my water heater leaking, and I just said, we'll pile some towels around it. I'll fix it later. I ain't got time to fool with it right now. I got a live stream to do. Grayson with Wildwoods on here. Flower Street. Yappy will be in Texas with me. Help me out, Yappy. What's the name of that store we're going to? Kelly's going to kill me because I don't know the name of his store off the top of my head. Let me text Kelly and get him in the comments. So Kelly Jordan has a bee supply store on the Conroe side of Houston, on the northwest side of Houston. And on February 17th, we'll be there for his grand opening of his store. Winding Creek Apiary Supply. February 17th, we'll be there, and there will be Twisted Tea is a homesteading business. They're going to be there. Yappy the Bee Man's going to be there. Ernie Welch is going to be there talking about queens. He's a queen breeder. Stan Gore's going to be there. Texas Friendly Beekeepers on Facebook. Stan Gore runs a big Facebook page. Corhan with Apamay. Apamay, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Korhan will be there with his equipment. The Firm Meadery, Ferm Meadery is how they spelled it. And Twisted Tea, local homestead and family. And me and Elizabeth will be there. It's going to be a full day. It's going to be a lot of teaching, a lot of door prizes, some good deals to be had, some free stuff to be had. But the best is the teaching. February 17th. And it's Conroe, Texas. Yes, Conroe is where it's happening. Kelly wanted me to mention that every Saturday they have what they call a spit and whittle, and it's basically a free beekeepers class every Saturday morning. I think it's a half a day thing. Julie said no spitting, no, just whittling. So the grand opening schedule, February 17th, 8 to 8:30, meet and greet, grab donuts, find a chair. 8:30 to 10 is Yappy. 10 to 10:30, bathroom break and door prizes. 10:30 to 12, Dirt Rooster. 12 to 1:30, lunch and door prizes. 1:30 to 3, Ernie's going to talk about queen rearing. Then bathroom breaks again and door prizes. Then 3:55. That can't be right. 3:50. Okay, I must have the times backwards. 3:15 to 3:55 is round table. And there's a chili cook-off. There's door prizes. But this is all a one-day thing, and so they really wanted me to mention every Saturday we have old-fashioned spit and whittle from 8 to 12 with free coffee, donuts, and kolaches. And this is at Winding Creek Bee Supply in the Conroe area. So aside from that, I wanted to say a special thanks to a few people. And again, this light is blowing out. Taylor Boys Outdoors. Is that going to focus? Sent purple honey. You can barely make that out in this camera. Purple honey, which I'm assuming is from kudzu. It's pretty thick. It's cold in here right now, but it's thick honey. But I've tasted it. It's pretty dang good stuff. It's in small supply because there's not a lot of purple honey out there. But that is a natural raw honey that comes along with kudzu and maybe some other things. But purple honey comes off of kudzu as far as I know. I also have some avocado honey that I bought. Man, I wish this. There we go. Last time we were in Texas, I bought avocado honey from HEB. And so you can see it's in a tiny little jar, so it must not be in plentiful supply. I can't remember what the cost of it was. But I tell you, save your money. It tastes just like burned. It smells like molasses, but it tastes like burned Chinese tallow honey. Those are the only two unusual honeys I was going to talk about tonight. But Taylor Boy Outdoors, and if there was enough light in here, I'd put this on a sheet of paper and show y'all it is purple honey. I'll give a couple of honorable mentions. These are next up in my consuming. That's what's sitting next to my recliner now. I got 3 of these from Natalie. And I've already eaten one. I gave one to my son. This one here is next to go. And after that, Rocket Bees. I keep squeeze bottles next to my chair. As much as I say I don't like squeeze bottles, we don't sell honey in squeeze bottles at all at this point. It's not that we won't ever, we might, but I've always got somebody's squeeze bottle next to my chair. And I'll show some more. Jeremy Lindsay. I'm showing his because I really like that yellow lid. Lindsay Homestead. There's a bunch more. If I leave anybody out, and I'm going to, if I leave anybody else, not because I didn't like your honey or your label or anything, I just there's too many to get to. Mike's. And Mike's doesn't have any contact information on it that I can see. Some hot honey. Me and Joseph Rawls and somebody else shot a video, and I think maybe it was Mike Berry. I can't remember. Shot a video tasting some hot honey at the conference at the expo. They all took it in stride like it was nothing. Man, I choked. I've got video of that we'll put out at some point. So I didn't have a lot to talk about tonight, other than these conferences we're coming to, and just want to let y'all know where we're going to be and where you can find some good information if you want to show up and you want to meet Yappy or Stan Gore or any of these guys, Korhan, myself. The next one after Texas will be the SBGMI virtual conference. It's on February 23rd, I believe. It's a virtual conference. And then after that, me and Mr. Ed will be in North Carolina for the North Carolina State Conference in March. And that one is going to be come on now. North Carolina State Conference 2024, New Bern, North Carolina, NEWBERN, North Carolina. It's a spring conference, and of course, I don't have the dates. Like I said, I'm not ready for y'all. What does anybody want to talk about? I listened to Mr. Ed's live this morning, and I called him afterwards, and I was like, you really undersell yourself. He talks about he's not a beekeeper, but just listening to him talk this morning, I was like, and I know he's a good beekeeper. He's so humble, and him and Mike Berry and all these guys that are just so humble in their videos, these guys are really good beekeepers. And Mr. Ed says, I'm not a beekeeper. I'm a lazy beekeeper. I'm this, I'm that. Well, he's not. That dude works, and he does a good job at everything he does. And Mike Berry's another one. Mike will tell you, it's not how I do, or it's not how to, it's how I do. And I'm like, no, man, that's how to. Mike's putting out good information. That's how to do beekeeping. We got a bunch of folks in here. I hope y'all are having conversations in the side because I can't keep up. So Texas, if you're tuning in late, we'll be in Conroe, Texas in just a couple weeks. Few weeks after that, we will be in New Bern, North Carolina. Other than that, you can catch us online. We'll still be putting out the videos as fast as we can get them out. We are currently coming into spring here. Maple trees are not blooming here just yet, but I've heard that they're blooming close by. And so we're about ready to see a lot of pollen coming in and spring build up. Getting ready for nukes. Excuse me, y'all. Is Nancy Tasker in the talk? I see somebody mentioning Nancy. Your wall design. Oh, yeah. That was from the expo. That was part of our booth that Elizabeth and I built. And then that picture in the back came from Jose. He's the guy that did the fine art photography sales at the expo and Hive Life and other events. And that it's hard to point right here. That little bomb, Elizabeth painted that. That's my speed bag platform. Elizabeth painted that little bomb on it for me. I went on Google Images and found a mean face. It's upside down, but you can see the little fuse sticking out the top of it. And I said, I want this painted on my speed bag platform, and she painted that for me. And I haven't hung a bag on it yet because I didn't want to wear the paint off of it, but because it looks so good. It's red, white, and blue. You can't really tell. The red at the bottom's in the dark. Also, Pura frame. They were passing these out. I tell you, I got to do something with that light. Pura frame. They were passing these out at the conference, and the description of them is burned into them all around the frame, which I thought was interesting. But I was looking at it, and it's thicker end bars. It looks like a little bit thicker top bar, and it's toe-nailed or toe stapled at the top, and they're glued. The wax on them, I don't really. It looks like they did a good job waxing it, or a fair job waxing it. I add wax to everything anyway, but these look like good quality frames if you're in the market for frames. Pierce. Let's talk about Pierce. This is not a sponsored video. We're not getting paid for anything, but we are going to have Pierce equipment on our website starting here real soon. If you're not familiar with Pierce, they make heated uncapping knives, heated comb cutters, heated frame cleaners, master grafting tool, several other products. And I've got a stack of it over here, and I see a box over there with the uncapping tank in it. And we're going to have Pierce equipment on our website coming real soon. New Bern is just north of Myrtle Beach, ? You know, it's funny. I should know that because I've worked storms up there a lot of times, probably a dozen times or more, and I just don't know where everything's at. Hartleysville beekeeper Nancy Tasker. Yep, she's in. Grammy. Lisa, Grammy midwife's suburban homestead. Lisa is an excellent cook and makes all kind of preserves and stuff. If you ever run into her anywhere, and she has any of her, what was it, cherry jam and figs, whoo boy, better get you some of that. Fixing and doing stuff in Ontario. Grammy, Lisa, 70 degrees there today. It was kind of warm here today. It was in the high 60s, but it's just fixing to turn down. We got rain right now. As soon as this rain gets done, it's gonna get cold again. Mike Berry's joining us. I just got done talking about you, Mike. Talking about how you talk about it's how I do. It's not how to. And I was like, no, it's how to. You do a good channel. You do a good how to. Put out good information. And there's a lot of these guys that they're just humble. They're just, you know, you can do it however. This is just one way. Well, most of you are doing the best way. I like Mike. And I like Mr. Ed and Joseph Rawls. And who else is in here? Lee, Kodak Farm. I don't know what else we're going to talk about, y'all. Really just had that announcement. So if anybody got any questions or wants to talk about it, talk about something else, bring it on. Come to a bee conference in Arkansas. All right, let's go. 34 and snow. Mm-mm. I'd like to see some snow, but I don't want the cold temperatures. Yeah, Tommy Chew says he likes Mike's way. Yep. 33 Mile Bees. All right. Y'all check out 33 Mile Bees channel. That's another channel. Uh, any swarms in our area yet? No swarms in our area. I did get a call for a possible removal on a column yesterday, and I had the guy send me pictures. And when I got the pictures, I recognized it, and I said, "Well, it's going to be more than you want to pay. I bid this thing last year before you bought the property." And he said, "Well, I didn't buy it, but I'm working on it for the guy that did." And he said he knew about it when he bought it, and the seller knew about it. So I know the seller knew about it because both the seller and the realtor contacted me trying to get the bees out before the house sold. And where it's at, it's in a brick column. They didn't want to do repairs to the column, didn't want the expense of the removal, so they just left it for the new owner to deal with it. Well, now it's going to be an Airbnb. It's like a block off the beach. And I gave the guy a price, and he's like, I said, yeah, it's not cheap. And so the guy, in the end, the guy was like, well, can we save these bees? And I said, you can, but you'd be better off just to go buy some nukes. So he's talking about getting some nukes from in a month, 2 months. Come to Ohio sometime. I'd love to. Been to Ohio before, a few times. I think there's a military museum up there, and has like a maybe an IMAX theater in it. I think that's where I went to see an IMAX, and it had the machine that cleared landmines, and it was like a front end loader with a flail attachment on it. Do you do winter removals, or do they wait till spring? We do some winter removals. Prefer to wait till spring because a winter removal is almost certainly a death sentence for the bees. Prefer to wait till spring. It's just easier. You get stung less. You're able to save the bees, but sometimes they just won't wait. Sometimes it's a contractor doing a rebuild, just like this one that I talked to yesterday, or sometimes it's a house that's on the market and the closing date's coming up, and they've hoped the bees will go away or whatever, and an inspector comes out and finds bees, and the bank won't close until the bees are gone. So they don't really care what time of the year it is. They don't really care if the bees make it or not. They just want them gone. So we do occasionally do winter removals. Come up to Ontario and go fishing. I live on the water and I don't even fish down here hardly. I used to until somebody stole all my fishing poles, and I hadn't been since. Except for when Terry took us all out on a charter boat. Terry with Guardian Bee Apparel came down, and a bunch of us went out on a charter boat, and we had a good time. We didn't catch a lot, but we had a good time. I think all of us caught a shark or two. Yappy caught a couple of sharks. How's your spring prep going? Our spring prep so far has amounted to just cleaning equipment, and it's going slow. We've been busy doing a lot of other things, but right now is really the best time to do it. It's all the frames, especially in the cold weather, they just scrape easier. Stuff flakes off of them. Nothing's gummy. It's all hard, and a good right angle hive tool will scrape a lot of junk off real easy, quickly. But you want to wear gloves. You scratch yourself in the cold weather, and it don't feel good. Going ice fishing Friday. Wow. I hope y'all catch a lot of ice. I have never been anywhere near ice that's thick enough to cut a hole through it and fish through. Do you take some kind of allergy meds to deal with the stings? I do not. My testosterone is through the roof, and that's how I deal with it. No, I don't take any allergy meds. I don't take Benadryl or anything like that. If I take Benadryl, I'd be sleeping on the job. How's your dad doing? He's doing good. He's doing good. He's having some memory issues, but he's doing a lot better than he was. We didn't think he was going to make it for a little while. When we went to the expo, he was in bad shape, but he's doing a lot better. I was just over at his house a while ago and letting him know I've got his bottling tank filled up and ready for him to bottle whenever he's ready, and he was excited to hear that. My mom did send a video of him out scraping frames today or yesterday maybe. So he's feeling a lot better if he's willing to get he's got an electric wheelchair that he can ride out in the bee yard. If he's willing to get in that and go scrape frames, he's feeling pretty good. What you're trying to say is you're a man, you can handle the pain. It's not that much pain really. I mean, I guess you could put it that way, but really it's not bad. When I first got into beekeeping, I went to a class. Me and my brother and my dad went to a class in Theodore, Alabama, and it was two old men teaching it. And it was all brand new beekeepers. Everybody had brand new white suits. I had one laying over my arm, and everybody was wearing theirs except for these old men that were out in this field with raggedy looking hives, eat up with hive beetles. And they were just going through showing us how to do inspections. And this old man had some overalls on, and he sat down on a milk crate and started going through this hive with nothing on. And all these people crowding around, they got suits on. I got mine over my arm because it was hot and I sweat easy. And I was just like, if this old man can go without a suit, I ain't wearing a suit. So he'd work and want to sting him in the neck, and he'd grab it and pick the stinger out and say a few choice words and go right back to work. I was like, all right, if he can take it, I can take it. And that's how I got started working without a suit, was just seeing this he was probably 80-ish, late 70s. I was like, if this old dude can take it, I can handle it. So that's how I got started with that. But then, once you get into beekeeping, I got comfortable with it really quickly. Got comfortable working without a suit really quickly. And then, when you're down here and you're as big as I am and you put on a suit in this heat, it's not going to be a fun day for you. So I rarely wear one. I'll throw a hood on occasionally, but if I put a suit on, we're either pulling supers or I've got into a hot hive, which is not super common. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad he's doing better too. He's irritable, but I guess that's to be expected when he's stuck in a recliner most of the day because he can't walk. He can transition from a recliner to a wheelchair, that kind of thing, but he can't walk. He hasn't driven in 5 or 6 months. Let's go back to some earlier chat and see if there's any questions. Swarmstead bees and gardening. I was all ready to get an avocado. He was wanting to get some avocado honey. Save your money, brother. So if you're a farmer and your bees start making purple honey, it's a sign you've got local kudzu problems. Possibly, because I don't know what else they can make purple honey off of besides kudzu. I do know that they'll make purple honey off of kudzu. So who caught Mr. Ed's chat this morning? What is a hot hive? A hot hive is just a defensive hive. It's one that you don't want to work unsuited because they're probably going to wear you out. Most hot hives you can work gloveless, but you're going to want a jacket on at least. And some of them you can't even work gloveless; they'll just tear your hands up. Easy fixes to requeen. Sometimes it's just when you're in them or the condition they're in when you're in them. Could be bad weather. Could be that their resources are running low and they're just really super defensive over it, protective of it. Are you going to do any more yellow jacket removals, Rodney? Uh, if the money's right. Who's Mr. Ed? Yappy, I ain't even gonna answer that. Funny enough, Elizabeth was correcting me on the spelling of Mr. Ed's name. His first name is Jeff. I have it in my phone as Jeff, and it's Geoffrey. As long as I've known him, I did not know he was a Geof. Who's better at cutouts, you or Yappy? Well, of course, Yappy's better than me at cutouts. uh, ain't that right, Yappy? I'll say. Let me dive deeper on that. Yappy will stick in there to the bitter end to find a queen where I won't do that. If I don't see her, I'm vacuuming everybody up. I don't care. If I see her, it's fun. It really is fun to queen search, but I don't have to see her and I don't have to get my hands on her. Yappy sticks in there and he'll find one even when you think there's not one in there. But Yappy don't do any build back. So that's where Yappy's falling short. Cutouts are cutting up. Yeah. We both cut up a lot. Alhambra, you got some honey from the swap from Alhambra. I think that's how you say that. Hey, Bob Walker's jumping in. Hey, Bob. Yappy says true. He's no repairman. I don't know why Yappy's not a repairman. He acts like he don't know construction, but I know he does. He's been remodeling a bathroom lately. He has to tear in the structures when they do fire responses. Do I have any first steps for starting a small bee conference? First step is to contact vendors and speakers, form some relationships, figure out some people that you want and can get. A lot of speakers schedules fill up pretty fast, especially people like Bob Benny and Cayman and Corey Stevens, people that everybody wants to hear from. Their schedules fill up really fast, and so you don't have to have those. You don't have to have the known guys. You can find people from local universities that oftentimes will come speak for free or at the cost of the university. Like Jeff Harris here in Mississippi speaks at a lot of local conferences and not so local. And I don't think there's any fee there. He's employed by Mississippi State University and works with Farm Bureau and a lot of other companies and just does a lot for the beekeeping community for at no cost to the community. So I've never done a conference. All we've done is small schools, but I think that's where you would start. And it's not much different. Small schools, we've had vendors, we've had people come help and speak and help put nukes together and help people find queens and all that kind of stuff. But it's not much different. It was a field day, really. Duct tape, zip ties, and WD-40 in my toolbox. That must be part of a conversation somewhere that I'm not seeing. Expand on your paid channel. Okay, okay. You on the memberships. I was like, what? We started memberships recently, and so on my channel, a lot. Of course, we do a lot of educational stuff on my channel, but my videos are more viewed by, and I can look at the analytics and tell who's watching my videos and why, and what's interesting them, and why the views are up or down or whatever. Educational or business oriented videos don't do well on my channel, which hurts views, which hurts income, which I mean, I can put out a video that I think is interesting and that I would love to share, and it'll tank hard, and so every video for the next two or three following that do bad. So I have to be kind of selective for what kind of material I put out there for the general public. So we started a membership side so we could do business stuff. So if you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to get into the beekeeping business, or if you're in the beekeeping business and you want to go deeper or learn more or just tighten up your beekeeping skills. So we just started it. So there's only 2 videos on that side at this point, but that's what the membership is. Mr. Ed's got memberships too. I joined his um, just recently, and Lee Kodiak Farm has memberships as well, and I'll be joining his shortly. Those were my first 2 members. Mr. Ed was the first one. Lee was the second one. You could always start a second channel. You could, but maintaining 2 channels is challenging. I've had 3 channels going at a time before, and I just basically shut the other 2 down. It was too much to keep up with, logging in, logging out, checking comments, replying, uploading separate content for another channel. Grand Rapids, Michigan. That sounds like another ice fishing community. I like the cost of Castle Hive membership. I haven't seen the Castle Hive membership. Lee and I caravanned up to the expo, and where was it? Bucky's. We stopped at Bucky's. I think that's where it was. And we walked up to the counter to check out at the same time, and I grabbed his drink and threw it up on the counter. And he said, "No, I got that." I said, "No, I got it. That's one of the perks of being a member." Tough running a YouTube channel, I bet, just watching out of interest, but not doing any beekeeping. YouTube channels, they can be as easy as you want to make them, but if you don't put any effort into them, they just don't do anything. You're not gonna get any traction. You're not gonna get any views, which it's hard to say whether there's a big benefit to this other than helping educate people. That's the one big benefit, is that I can reach tens of thousands of people per video for educational purposes or for entertainment or whatever, where I wouldn't normally be able to do that. I can't go if I get called out to go to a conference like the North Carolina conference we're going to. Maybe say there's 500 people there. I have no clue the size of their conference, but say there's 500 people there. Just travel costs. I thought I had it on my phone, but I don't. So Elizabeth went and Elizabeth is basically our travel agent for me and Mr. Ed on this one. She went and bought tickets today to get us flights up to that conference and back. So just travel costs was $1,300 or $1,400 for me and him to go to a conference where we're going to talk to 500-600 people. I don't even know, but over time it cost me a lot of money to do this YouTube channel, but it doesn't cost anybody else any money. It's computers, speakers, cameras, tripods, lights, whatever else. Cost me quite a bit of money to run it sometimes, but I can reach a whole lot of more people for pennies on a dollar compared to traveling around speaking at bee clubs or conferences or anything like that, and can kind of do it at my own pace. I can edit. If I say something stupid, I can cut it out before anybody sees it, except for when you're on live like this and you come on unprepared. Akron, Northeast Ohio, Castle Hives. So I didn't know Castle Hives had a membership. Oh, look, thank you, man. We got a new member. Yeah, so the thing with the memberships, and I've been kicking it around for a couple of years. I didn't want to do it until I felt like I could provide value, because I didn't want it to be a tip jar. I want it to be something that you get way more than your money's worth out of. So to this point, we've talked about, maybe there's just one video. Nah, there's a couple of videos on there, I think. I don't know. At this point, we've talked about recovering from fermented honey, from bulk fermented honey. The next big video is going to be handling honey in drums. That was a request from Brian at Pruitt Homestead. He's growing his operation. He wanted to know the particulars of handling honey in drums. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to show how to handle it, what kind of drums to use, what the drawbacks to using drums or the benefits to using drums, how to pump out of them, what condition you can have them in, what to expect when you show up at a bee farm that's got drums. If you have to bring your own, what you're going to pay for drums if you don't bring your own. If you do bring your own, will they take them in trade? We're gonna look at all that kind of stuff. Probably going to go over to the Abbey and video Mr. Ed's drum lift. I'm sure most of you have probably seen it. I've been over there and claimed it, put one of my stickers on the side of it, but we've got some drum handling equipment around here, but we don't have a drum lift, an electric drum lift like he has. So I might go over there and record that and show that to you in case anybody's got a few dollars they want to spend on something that'll pick a drum up for you. Brian gets to sit at the adult table. Finally, Brian, finally. You don't have to order off the mac and cheese menu anymore. Coastal Plains region, North Carolina. Hopefully we'll see y'all soon. We'll be at the North Carolina conference. So I know a lot of y'all coming in late, not going to go back and listen to earlier. We got on here for a couple reasons. One is we're coming to the North Carolina conference in March, and the other is that we're going to be in Texas, in Conroe, Texas, in just a couple weeks. And I didn't text Kelly Jordan and tell him we were online. So I'm just texting him now. So if he's not in here, and I don't know if he is or not, if he's not in here, he can get in here and answer some questions if y'all have any questions for him. Grand opening February 17th at Winding Creek Apiary and Bee Supply in Conroe, Texas. So I already talked about this a little bit, but I'll go over it real quick again. Yappy's going to be there talking. I'll be talking. Ernie Welch is a queen breeder. He's going to be there talking. Stan Gore will be there. Steve Jimenez House for Heroes will be there. Corhun with Apamay will be there. The Firm Meadery, Twisted Tea, Family Homesteading. All those people will be there. Be some good educational material shared, some door prizes, some deals, a mini conference, basically, I guess. So let's see. Pastor Larry and Jan watching from South Carolina. Hey y'all. Hallelujah Bee Farm. We have Pastor Bean hooks me up with devotional books every year, and I appreciate him for it. I'm still using a daily devotion book he sent me last year. This is something that we were going to show at the conference, and I didn't get a chance to, but Jeff and Mona, Mr. Ed and Mona, made these dominoes out of epoxy. And they've got a bunch of little, looks like watch parts in them. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a whole set in a box with a magnetic lid. Just something fun to share. Daughter went to UNC and you paid for their jerseys. Everything is a mini conference after Navi. Yes. Yes, it pretty much is. Pretty much is. Hey, Stone River Bees, thank you for the super chat. Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Nabby, however you want to say it. I like Nabby because it reminds me of mud tires. It's going to be hard to top that. Last year, Hive Life was that good, just on a smaller scale, and Nobby just went smoother. It was twice as big, twice as many people, and it seemed to go smoother than it did with half the crowd. And anybody that I got to meet there, I enjoyed meeting y'all. It was a great time. We got to share so much. I mean, I didn't even need to sit in anybody's talks. I got a lot of bee knowledge from all my friends coming around, all of our viewers coming around saying hello and telling me about their bees, telling me what they're doing, sharing some of their methods. It was a good time. Brian Lee. All right. Welcome to the Bee Club. What does Elizabeth want for her anniversary? Oh boy, she wants me to stay home. I don't know if this is public knowledge. Maybe it is. Maybe she said something about it, but when they called me to see if I would come to the North Carolina conference, and I said, yeah, she wasn't happy because that is on our anniversary. So I already said, yeah. And you can go if you want to. Nope. Go have fun. But she wasn't happy about it. He was watching somebody's video and they were saying the majority of cutouts were in the northeast part of Houston. Is that true? You know, I have gotten some calls over there, but I don't know really what part of Houston they were in. I would say it's probably going to be in areas with older communities, but I really don't know. I know there's a lot of bee removals in Houston. There's a few people over there that do it full time. Brian Lee wanted to be one of the cool kids. Brian Pruitt. Brian Pruitt is on. I don't know if I saw you on here earlier or not. Pruitt, Let me see if see what I've got of Brian's sitting here. Pruitt Homestead first aid kit. Brian does a lot of skin products and health products. And I don't have it over here, but he's got a fire cider that before the expo, I was getting over. I had the flu and got over the flu and then got bronchitis and was getting over bronchitis and just couldn't cough up anything. I was just constantly coughing. Brian said, "Let me send you some fire cider." And I don't like hot stuff at all. Well, Brian sent me this fire cider and I took the first dose of it as prescribed by Brian. And man, I was looking for a window to jump out of. I didn't like that at all. But after you get used to it, and I don't know if you develop a taste for it, but you get used to it. First time I took it, I had been hacking and coughing, nothing come up. Within 5 minutes, I was clearing stuff. I was like, wow, this stuff. I don't know if it put my body in panic mode and it had to get rid of stuff, but it worked. And so I took that fire cider for 4 or 5 days before the conference. And by the time we got to the conference, I was clear. And it takes me a little while to get past bronchitis. I get it every few years, and it takes me a little while to get over it, but that got me through it. Montana. Gunline Bees is in here. I've been talking to them today. They're going to be doing a live tomorrow night. I think they do a live every Sunday night. So check out Gunline Bees tomorrow night. We're in North Carolina, New Bern, North Carolina. Keith, I don't know exactly where New Bern is, but that's where the conference is going to be held. It's the North Carolina Spring Conference. It's in March. We will be, somebody asked me about spring preparation. It's February 3rd here now. And we do a lot of business with a lot of large commercial guys, as you probably know, that come off of almonds or that are on almonds right now. And some of them are coming here to get set up already to get ready to receive their bees as they come off almonds. And one of them called me yesterday and said he's in town, wanted to know if he could get some chickens. He likes to have chickens for his workers to have fresh eggs every day. And I said, man, I can't help you this year. I'm looking for chickens. So if anybody's got any laying age chickens that you can turn loose of or sell or rent or whatever, let me know. We had a group of 3 dogs come through our yard and just wipe out a bunch of chickens. And I was at home when it happened. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a cluck, a bark, or nothing. I saw something pass a window, and I got up, and you think you're prepared, prepared. So I jumped up and I looked out the window to see what it was, and I see these dogs chasing chickens, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I run over and grab a little 22 Marlin out of the corner and ran outside. Click, dry fire. I start fooling with this, jammed up. I throw it back inside. I start looking for my other pew-pews. One of them was in the truck. The other one didn't have anything in it. Like, man, so I grabbed my pellet gun. It's empty. I was like, dude, I'm glad nobody's breaking into my house right now. I'd be in trouble. So by the time I got to the truck and got back out in the yard, I realized what it was. It was a purebred adult German Shepherd, a German Shepherd puppy that was probably 6 months old. It wasn't full grown yet, and a mixed breed. So I was like, I'm fixing to run them off regardless, but they just wasted $200 worth of chickens. This is $2,000 worth of dogs. Do I take them out or just scare them off. So I just shot in the yard, scared them off. They immediately took off down the road, and I went to try to find out where they went. And my neighbor heard the shot, so he jumps in his truck and comes out, and he sees the dogs, and he follows them. He couldn't keep up. I didn't see where the dogs went, so I don't know whose dogs it were, but we lost a bunch of chickens. So funny when your adrenaline's pumping like that, you not always thinking as clearly as you think you're going to if something crazy happens. Neighbor's dog killed 14 chickens. Yeah. I had one of my first YouTube videos that it may still be on my channel. We had a dog, we had a Doberman. We used to raise Dobermans, and we had a Doberman named Soldier. I bought him out of New Orleans, and his registered name was Soldier, Soulja. And Soldier was a good dog, but and Dobermans he was not a vicious dog, but probably most dogs, but Dobermans especially like to chase things. If something doesn't run from them, they just don't really pay attention to it. But if something runs, it's game on. So Soldier had killed all of my neighbor's chickens and 2 white turkeys. And I was like, oh, dude. And these were we were good friends with our neighbors, and I felt so bad about it. It's like, I don't know what to do. I can't keep him in the yard. We sold Soldier and gave him all the money. I said, and we didn't have chickens back then. I said, I don't know what chickens cost, but here's some money from the dog. Hope this covers it. So I know what it's like. Been there, been on the other end, been on the receiving end recently. So if anybody's got chickens they want to turn loose of or sell that are laying or close to laying, hit me up on Messenger or something, or email 628dirtrooster@gmail.com. It's like a mini Nobby family reunion in here. Is it? Well, Sacramento Beekeeper wasn't there. I know he wasn't there. I talked to him on the regular. Redfish. Hey, Redfish. I know he was there because I met him. Got a picture with him. And got the story. It wasn't, I thought he was into red fishing. It wasn't anything to do with fish. Or it wasn't anything to do with redfish. Got 2 bantam roosters just started to crow this week. Last year we sent 10 hens up to them for eggs. Then when the season was over, we got 4 hens and 4 roosters back. I don't know how that happened, but we ended up taking 4, and they were juveniles, so we didn't know for sure they were roosters at the time. We suspected, but of course we kept them until they were of age, and then by then Elizabeth was attached or couldn't let me cull them. Coyote is a much easier decision. I agree. That would be an easier decision. If I had, there's a couple neighbors that we don't know that they kind of stay to themselves. And I thought, man, this would be a bad way to meet your neighbors, to put down a couple of expensive dogs in your yard and then find out about it. So that's the biggest reason I just shot in the dirt. Sacramento Beekeeper, live vicariously through your video, through y'all's videos. Yeah, Sacramento Beekeeper's putting out a lot of content. He just got started on YouTube. He's refining his video and editing skills and doing a pretty fine job with it. And he does a ton of cutouts. I don't think he's been doing it as long as some of us, but he's done. I don't know. Would you put in the comments how many you did this year? How many cutouts you did this past year? You personally, not your group. Go to New Bern via Shacktown. We'll take a ride on the half track. Man, I would love to take you up on that. We're flying in. Jeff and I both are in the middle of making splits and doing spring bee work during this conference. So instead of, I wanted to drive because there's a lot of people I wanted to see. I wanted to swing through Bruce's bees again. I was at Bruce's place once before, and I really didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. I got to go out to eat with him, but that was about it. I got to come to his house and see his Apamay hives at his house, but I didn't really get to spend a lot of time with him. And I wanted to swing through and see Bruce, and um, I don't know, there's a dozen people up through that path that I would like to have stopped and visit. Gunline is over that way, and um, it was just not a good time to drive it. So we're flying, and next time I get to come to the East Coast, we'll be driving. Do I remember Kim Pettit? Yes, I do, and I heard he passed away. Yeah, okay, Rodney, yeah. Yeah, Kim Pettit, if any of y'all knew him, he passed away yesterday. I think it was. Oh, you're saying February 1st? I think it was actually yesterday. I don't know. Maybe it was the 1st. But yeah, I hate that. I have a picture with him, and it's funny because I just found out he was sick, and I had been going through hard drives the other night looking for a picture for something, and I came across a picture of me and Kim. And then, 2 days later, I find out he's sick, and then I can't remember where that picture was. Kind of late to party. What Texas conference were you talking about? The Texas thing is. Let's see if Kelly's joining. Oh, he's in. So the Texas thing is grand opening of Winding Creek Apiary and Bee Store, February 17th in Conroe. And Kelly, if I'm off on the Conroe thing, comment down there and tell me. But I think you're in Conroe. February 17th, Winding Creek Bee Supply. Winding Creek. And it's going to be a full day with speakers, food. There's going to be a what'd you say? It's going to be a chili cook-off. I believe so. Chili cook-off. But Winding Creek is going to have a free bee class every Saturday morning. They call it a spit and whittle. And they just sit around and talk about bees every Saturday morning, get free kolaches, free donuts, free coffee, and free education. Grateful Heart. Hey, I'm glad you found us. Keep on binge watching. You say it's a relaxing channel. I have a lot of people tell me, I watch your videos when I go to bed at night, helps me go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, we're that boring. North Carolina Conference is in New Bern, North Carolina in March. You're okay. It was yesterday that Kim passed away. 10:26 p.m. Yeah, where can you find a half track in decent shape? How many half tracks do you have? Is half tracks plural? I assume you have at least a few, maybe for parts. Hey, from Illinois, Goose Lake Bees. Let me share with y'all again. Pierce. We're going to start carrying Pierce equipment on our website. Pierce carries heated cutout knives, heated comb knives, heated frame cleaners, uncapping tanks, master grafting tool, quite a few other things that are quality stuff. And you know, I've talked about this before. I will not fool with anything that I don't believe in or that's not quality. I'm all about quality. I know everybody's about price these days. I couldn't care less about the price. And I'm not saying that Pierce is out of the price range or anything else that we fool with, but I'm not. I've made fun of Harbor Freight so many times that if you've been a follower of the channel for a little while, you know I'm a tool snob. I like my Milwaukees and my Bosches and stuff like that on my electric tools, but anything else, I've always been this way. Even when we were kids, I had a Raleigh bicycle when we were riding BMX stuff. Heavy, well built. I had broken a mongoose frame. Somebody else had a mongoose frame. I broke it. I did end up breaking that Raleigh frame, but I was probably 200 pounds by that time. I was 14, 15 years old. But even back then, I didn't care how heavy it was. I wanted something that just held up. And and so when I build anything that's that way, when I buy something that's that way, I don't care. I'm not looking for cheap. I'm not looking for the cheap way out. But I know a lot of people are these days, and I make fun of it sometimes. But I know, sometimes you just got to go cheap. Sometimes you don't have a choice. We've all been there. Just get the tool to get by. But I like quality. So if anything you see on my website or anything you see me represent or show, if it's not quality, I'm gonna tell you. And if it is quality, I'm gonna be using it or I'm gonna be pumping it up. Evening, Stuffy. Virginia in the house. Curious one. All right. Tommy Chew. Quality tools are what it's all about. I agree. I've got some old stuff that my grandpa had, that old hand tools that they're worn out, but man, you can't beat them. Buy once, cry once. I agree with that, David. Half tracks. Keith, I don't know if you said it anywhere in here. How many half tracks do you have? Do you just have one, or do you have one and parts vehicles, or do you have more than one? DNN apiaries. Hello from New Jersey. Hey, y'all. I asked my brother to stop by here tonight if he got a chance. What is this up top? Stone River Bees. Yeah. Thanks again, Stone River Bees. That's amazing. I appreciate that super chat. Where are you located, Stone River Bees? Tommy was headed down this way tonight. My brother, he lives about an hour and 15 minutes north of me. And I said, stop in. And that's why everything's opposite. That's why the extra chairs in here tonight, because I expected my brother to stop in and talk for a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. It is pouring down rain. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it is pouring down rain outside. You switch to the Pierce Master Grafting Tool. Picked it up at the expo. I tell you, you made a good switch. I don't think you'll be sorry about that. Are we going to restart the swarm contest with Mr. Ed? I think we are. We're about even up on who's won and who's lost, but it's just so much fun trying to beat each other or something like that. Have to set up a guest area soon. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do like you got. You got the mission control over there. I don't go live enough to need a guest area. We're expecting heavy rain in LA. Wow. I've worked out there a few times, but I was out there in Escondido for 10 months after the fires in Julian and Ramona in 2003. Newbern, North Carolina is where that conference is being held. And Conroe, Texas is where the B school is being held, or the mini conference, if you will, at Winding Creek in Conroe. Winding Creek Bee Supply in Conroe. Grand opening. Going to be a lot of seasoned beekeepers there for you to visit with. So if you are looking to network, if you're in that area and you need a supplier for queens, there'll be a queen breeder there. If you're just looking for information, you're getting started, or you just want to learn something, come on and hang out with us. Or if you just want to hang out with us, perfect time. If you were at the expo, so if you want to meet somebody like Yappy or Mr. Ed or whoever, the expo is fun, but that's not some place where you can really hang out with everybody. It's so busy and there's so many people that you don't get a lot of one-on-one. There's just Mr. Ed was so swamped. He was worn out the first day. Every time he turned around, there's somebody else waiting to talk to him. So he couldn't go anywhere. And it's that way for Fred Dunn and Bob Benny and everybody else too. So, but if you go to these smaller events and find somebody that you're wanting to meet and pick their brain or hang out with them or have a meal with them, whatever, your chances of spending a little bit of time with them are much, much greater. So like when we were headed to the expo, I must have had 20 different people that I know say, hey, while you're there, we got to grab a bite to eat. And I'm just like, that's not going to happen. I'm there, Cayman's footing the bill. I got to do what Cayman wants. But besides that, there's going to be so many people that just want to grab a bite to eat. I can't have 20 meals in 3 days. Just ain't happening. And we're both up busy at the same time. But if you catch me like at the Illinois conference last year, St. Louis, a couple guys came down from up north and we went out to dinner the night before. We spent 3 hours talking bees at the restaurant. Stone River. You think Mr. Ed's going to take the trophy? We just need to swap the trophy back and forth. We both, I don't know if most of y'all probably haven't seen this. It's such old footage, but 2018, I think it was, we both bought each other a trophy for the swarm competition, not knowing the other one had bought a trophy. And we just went online and got the cheapest trophy there was. So we both got each other the exact same trophy and presented them to each other at the Louisiana State Beekeepers Conference. And so that was funny. It was because I pulled out my trophy. I said, I got something to give you. And he just laughed. He said, I got something to give you. And he pulls out the identical trophy, other than the engravings on them are a little different. How's JP doing? JP is doing fine. He's February 3rd. He's probably got a few more days of hunting left in him. I don't know if he does turkey hunting, but he's in the woods during deer season. I don't know when deer season ends in Louisiana. Does anybody know? Lee, do you know? I think deer season's still on in Mississippi up until 12th or 15th of this month, something like that. I haven't looked at the schedule for this year, but JP is, if deer season's open, he's in the woods, or he says he is anyway. Anytime I invite him to go somewhere, I got to go to the hunting camp. How's Pete? Pete's doing good. Um, I don't talk to him much in the off season. I text him once in a while, send him a funny reel or a funny meme. Other than that, unless we're working, I don't see Pete much. But he's doing good. Last time I talked to him, I stopped and dropped him off some new shirts. Month and a half ago. Lee's not sure you don't hunt. I haven't hunted, and man, last time I even tried to hunt was several years ago. I put some game cameras up and started feeding, and deer were coming in between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. And after about 10 sacks of corn, I was just like, I'm tired of feeding the coons, because it was raccoons and deers, and that's mostly raccoons eating all that corn. And nothing coming in the daylight. Only one deer came through in the daytime, and it was a spike, and it looked kind of mangy. And I was like, I ain't sitting out here for that thing. So that's been probably 4 years ago, and that's probably the last time I went to the woods for deer. Nobby was 95% YouTuber booth. There was a lot of YouTubers at Nobby. And if Cayman was on here, he'd be correcting me, telling me it's Nabby, and I just prefer to call it Nobby. How's Dad? Dad's doing better. He's getting out, doing a little bit in his wheelchair. He can't drive and he can't walk, but he can get out in his wheelchair. He can't really lift much of anything. He can't even lift a super full of brand new frames. He's pretty weak, but my mom sent me a video, I don't know, today or yesterday, of him out scraping frames, cleaning his equipment. So that's good. That's the first time he's done that in quite a while. Jeremy, you need to do more live chats. What? Oh, wait, wrong one. Why do I need to do more live chats, Jeremy, so we can show Lindsay Homestead Farms new yellow top jars as your contact? I don't even know if your contact info is, that camera's not going to zoom in on it. I tell you what, Jeremy's got some really good honey. I don't know if you got any more of it left, but if you do, and you want anybody to have your contact info, put it in the comments. And I've got the phone number here, but I'm not going to pass out your phone number. And that's Lindsay Homestead Farm in the comments. If you don't know who Jeremy is, Jeremy was numero uno in the vendor wrangling area at the conference at Nobby. Did a great job getting 140 vendors in day, really about a day, and then getting them all out in like 2.5 or 3 hours or something like that when the conference was over. That was an undertaking. Y'all did a great job there. Don't have any clear honey left. Vendor wrangling's putting it mildly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy time. Hey, look who's joining. Canadian Beekeepers blog. Ian's joining. Hey, Ian, welcome. Son of 1-1. I didn't even notice you were in here, man. I got some of your honey here right around here somewhere too. Son of 11263 Bees has got a YouTube channel. Y'all can check him out. Ian, most of y'all, probably all of y'all, know who Ian is, a Canadian Beekeeper's blog. If you don't, he's a commercial beekeeper. You can check his channel out on YouTube. Yeah, Jeremy Lindsay, I tell you, the job that they did was amazing. I'm glad he's in shape. I didn't work as hard as he did. And they were still going. They were going before I got up and still going when I went to bed. And I keep some pretty long hours. I'm kind of a steady Eddie. I don't get out there and bam, 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 bam. In my younger days, I did. Now I just kind of keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. But I can go for a long time. Elizabeth peters out way before I do, and but Jeremy made me look like I have no energy. Yeah, Ian, how's the shed holding temperatures? Or is she holding temperatures? Yeah. So Ian puts all his bees in storage in the wintertime. He's in Canada, in Canada. He's in Canada, and they have to warehouse their bees in the wintertime. I don't know if they have to, but I guess as a commercial beekeeper, when you're running that many colonies, you almost have to. Uh-oh, they let the Canadians in. If Brian, I'll make you a moderator. If you don't like Ian, you just kick him out, and we'll let him know who did it. Yappy, keep an eye on your email. Yappy, if you missed this, keep an eye on your email. I want you to come talk at a bee club. Oh, let's see. Well, how long have we been on here? Where's the countdown timer? An hour and 22 minutes. Let's talk about where we're going to be one more time. We're going to be with Mr. Kelly and Miss Julie on February 17th in Conroe, Texas, at the Winding Creek Bee Supply for a full day of education and fun and chili cook-off and door prizes and talks, queen breeder talks. We'll do some new beekeeper stuff. We'll do some nukes and splits talks, and we'll try to keep it appropriate for the time of year. It's spring's coming on. We'll try to keep it appropriate for spring. Won't be a lot of cutout talk, but we will touch on that a little bit. There'll be a Q&A, so if somebody's going to be there that wants to talk about cutouts, we absolutely will. Stan Gore, Yappy B Man. Who else? Kelly Jordan. Who else is going to be there? Ernie's talking about queen rearing. Corhan with Apple May will be there. The Firm Meadery will be there. Twisted Tea Family Homesteading will be there. So if you need contacts for any information, any equipment, queens, anything you need contacts for, any of that kind of stuff, it's going to be a great time to meet up with everybody and find out who you're dealing with, find out where your bees are coming from, get an education. Going to be door prizes and a chili cook-off. The chili cook-off is going to be interesting. I've never been to a chili cook-off before. Texas chili cook-off. That's going to be interesting. And then again, the North Carolina Spring Conference in March in New Bern, North Carolina. And between those is the virtual conference with Okay. It's getting late. SBGMI. SBGMI virtual conference. So look that up if you're into virtual conferences. That's in late February as well. And I'll be talking on they asked me to talk on treatment free, being treatment free, how to be treatment free, why we're treatment free, all that good stuff. So basically they just want me to piss everybody off and have to deal with it. You're in for a treat if you've never been to a chili cook-off. I'm looking forward to it. I have never been to a chili cook-off. I've been to a bunch of crawfish boils and shrimp boils and all that kind of stuff that we do here in South Mississippi and South Louisiana. Never a chili cook-off. And then next on the list would be a pie eating contest. I've never been to a pie eating contest, and I think I could compete in something like that. Mac Apiary Bees. What's up, Tom? Jeff Horchoff. Oh, look. You do spell your name Jeff. Elizabeth was just correcting me earlier when she had to book our flights. It's way past your bedtime. I thought you were in bed before I went live. It's 8:14 p.m., man. What are you still doing up? I was talking good about you earlier. I know you like to trash me, but I was talking good about you, talking about how humble you are and you're really a good beekeeper. Mr. Ed's in the comments, y'all. If anybody wants to say hello to him or ask him a question. Highland Honey. Oh, what is this? Oh, it lets me know when I got a member. Okay. That's neat. Highland Honey, thank you for joining. And Grammy, Lisa, thank you so much. We are going to provide good value for your dollars. I appreciate that. So if you weren't listening earlier, we're going to talk about handling honey and drums on the next video on the member side. I would love to share it with everybody, but those videos on my channel tank, and it just doesn't. It's not a good video for my channel. So if you're into the business of beekeeping or want to know more about the business of beekeeping, that's what we talk about over there. The rest of it, the cutouts and stuff, will still be coming on the regular feed. Anything else we're doing, travel videos, anything else that we're doing fun and interesting, still gonna be doing some teaching over on the regular side. Free videos for everybody, so don't get upset about that. Nothing's gonna change there. Sunny Australia. Hey, Mark. Australia is another place that would be fun to visit, but I think the fun part of that was, don't y'all have like your vacation times are really long and you go travel, go explore the outback or whatever? That just sounds like fun. I don't know if I'm off on that or not, but that's what I've heard, is that y'all's vacations from work are like a month or two and you just go exploring. I guess if you got the money for that. Rodney Middleton. This is Don. What? This is Don Bearden. What? We need a bring your pet day at Nobby. Yeah, I don't know. I think Yappy burned that bridge with Frank. He brought his hawk, or what did you bring, Yappy? It was a hawk, wasn't it? Named Frank to Hive Life last year. Me and I was telling him that Elizabeth had booked our flights to North Carolina, and she sent me the schematic of the plane and asked me where I wanted to sit. And of course, she's going to put me on a exit row. If you got a little bit of extra room there, and so there's one seat on one side and two seats on the other side. She said, "Do you want Jeff sitting right next to you or on the other side of the aisle?" I said, "Put him on the other side of the aisle. I don't want to be right up next to him all that time for there and back." And she said, "Well, do you want the side with two seats or one?" I said, "I want the side with two seats. Put him on the one because you know that roof's going to come over and I'll be having to sit like this the whole time." So and I didn't know this was an option. She was able to pay an extra $40 something to get me an extra 6 inches of leg room somewhere. There were dogs at Nobby this year. I saw two, I believe. And there were children, but I'm sure there was special exceptions because I know Jose brought his son, Max. Max was Jose's cameraman, and I'm sure Max wasn't over the age that was posted. So, but Jose was one of the speakers, so I'm sure there was a special exception made there because it was no child. I think it was no children under 10 or 8, maybe 10. I think. Yappy brought his bird to Clanton in September. Yeah, he likes to travel with that bird. And I'm not going to give you any details, but Yappy has been working with some Hollywood people on some movie sets with some big name actors lately. That's no joke. He's been on a set handling bees for one movie and then on a set handling arachnids for another movie. And I'll let Yappy tell you all about that on his videos if he wants to, but Yappy's all Hollywood now. He's got connections. So Yappy handles all kinds of stuff. Hawks, bees, spiders, snakes, you name it. Yappy's my hero. Well, hour and 30 minutes. I think we're going to call it for the evening. I appreciate everyone who joined. I appreciate everyone who joined the membership program, the super chats. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me for this evening. If you didn't, I'll post on Facebook more details on Winding Creek Apiary that's coming up. It's already on my Facebook, but I'll refresh it so it comes back to the top of the feed. And then North Carolina, as it grows closer, I'll post about it. The SBGMI conference, I'll also post it for anybody who wants to do virtual conference. And then Steve with Hives for Heroes has his thing coming up on the 13th. And as soon as I find out where that's going to be, I'll put that in Facebook. I'm not going to use up YouTube time to mention this stuff. So that was it for this evening. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you all who have sent honey and mostly honey, but but I enjoy that. I do eat it. There's a few. I mean, if they're in plastic, I'm not going to put them on the shelf. They're getting eaten. What is this other one? Truly Honey, not weed, from I don't know where it's from. 412 area code. Truly Honey, not weed honey. I had never had not weed honey before. That's in a squeeze jar, so that's going next to my recliner so I can polish that one off. 33 Mile Bees in the comments. I'm trying not to put anybody's phone number up here. If I show something, I don't want to show a phone number. Not that this cheap camera is going to. Oh, it is focusing. There we go. 33 Mile Bees, got that at the expo. Pawpaw Bees, Orleans, Indiana. Yeah, just so many. Can't possibly mention everybody, but thank y'all all so much for the love, the sharing. JP, the Delaware Bee Man. Hey, good to see you in here. Highway Honey. Highway Honey. All right. So I'm really new to the member thing. Like I say, I'm trying to give you your money's worth for sure in the membership section. I'm just seeing that I'm just now discovering that everybody that's in green is a member. So thank you all, 33 Mile, Kodiak, Highway Honey, Grammys, and whoever, Brian Lee, Kodiak, Castle, Castle Hives, Jeff Horchoff, all you others. Thank you very much for joining. Uh, See you soon. Got another cutout video coming. I don't remember what or where it's about, but it'll be out pretty soon. I'm gonna be editing. We got rain for the next several days, and that's what I'll be doing is editing a video. So it'll be out fairly soon. But thank y'all for joining. Hope you have a great evening and a wonderful weekend and Sunday. And reach out if I can do anything for you. Appreciate you.